Well, anyone within our industry would appreciate if they were involved in social media that last week was a different week. It was a special week. It was the very first Grounds Week, an opportunity to proclaim the great work that the people within our industry do. Now, post that week, I'm now joined by Miri Buac of the GMA, Head of Communications, just to talk a little bit about the week and the success of it. So I think it goes without saying, Miri, that it seems to have been a very successful week.
Absolutely. And first of all, Scott, I just want to start by saying thank you to Turf Matters for support, the sponsors, but all recovery and raising awareness, to all of our kind of sponsors for being involved and everyone that just really spread the word. It has been an incredible week. And I think we very much started from the bare bones, as we'd call it, and we kind of said to ourselves, let's see what happens. It's the first ever one, and I think it's just really surpassed all of our expectations. So that's been fantastic to see.
Where did the idea originate from? Was it born out of all the stress and turbulence of last year, or has it been longer in the incubator?
Yeah, so actually, funnily enough, I don't know how much people know about my background with the GMA, but I was actually previously on the other side of the fence. So actually worked as a consultant with the GMA on the rebrand activity. And as part of that activity, we kind of put together some media campaign ideas, and we kind of said to ourselves, I can't believe that there isn't an industry awareness campaign for the ground sector. And once we'd kind of gone through all of the work of the rebrand, and obviously there was the research out there that we launched in 2019, which is Sports Vital Profession, that really highlighted the issues of the sector. And we kind of said to ourselves, this needs to have an awareness campaign that will really drive that through. So I think that was kind of born about around the 2019 mark, just after that research launched. And kind of as time goes on, we kind of thought, well, let's wait until that new name is out there, and then use it as a building block for that change, really.
Lovely. Now, it was a successful week, but for your point of view, what were some of the highlights of that week?
Oh gosh, just so many. I think we hadn't anticipated just so much interaction and engagement. And for us, that was fantastic to see. It wasn't only the fact that, we were getting professional clubs, very high profile clubs, tweeting on their main profiles, also grassroots actually getting involved. And it was really nice to see people kind of getting out on the pitches and, showing their work. They work day in, day out. And that's actually quite a common misconception. So actually to see, yes, it's not the height of summer, but they're still out there, they're still doing their graft and sharing some of those incredible stories that they have to tell as well. But as well, players getting involved. We had some professional ex-footballers. We had Tom Youngs, who was talking about it from a rugby perspective and thanking the team. So I think for us to kind of go that step beyond the industry was fantastic to see. This wasn't just about raising awareness inside and speaking to the converted, but it was actually about taking it one step further.
Now, persuading those people to take part, did you have much arm twisting to do, or were they very, very keen to shout on behalf of the groundsmen and turf managers out there?
I think it's certainly been a kind of a labour of love, let's say, particularly over a number of years. In some cases, when I first started with the GMA, we were kind of very much building up what we call kind of case studies. So speaking to people and having them to talk about their own stories in the sector. And throughout some of that work, we then built relationships with communications teams at clubs. And of course, they also represent the players. So it's really been, a process of time. And for us, we kind of see this as very much a behaviour change campaign. And we know that doesn't happen overnight in terms of helping to address the issues that we have with, the future workforce, but also volunteers. So we just hope that we can build and grow on this. This is, for us, only the beginning.
Well, that touches on the next question. What benefits do you actually see from nurturing a wonderfully successful week? What can we see going forward that will benefit the industry?
Yeah, so what we don't want to do is we don't want to just shout for the sake of shouting. For us, this goes beyond just that awareness raising and the celebration, but actually we want to see that real long lasting change. So what we're hoping to do in the coming days and weeks is issue a survey just to kind of capture whether Grounds Week has actually had any impact, even though it's just the first year. So keep an eye out for that. It will be shared around on our social media pages. And what we really want to do is we want to track, have people been getting more inquiries about volunteering because the public have heard more about the opportunities available to them. So for me, it's been so rewarding to see the tweets, people saying, I've got a young son who actually has got some spare time and would love to do this. It's an outdoors activity. Or I think the grounds person at Watford had said that he can't get off his phone or he can't get off his Twitter or something because he's had so many inquiries coming through during Grounds Week with people asking about volunteering opportunities. And for us, that's what we really want to see and we really want to build on.
It's nice because we do know the industry, but we also know that the age profile is fairly high. So if we can get the profession made attractive to those school leavers and people see it as a career opportunity rather than just a job, I think we can all benefit from that.
Definitely. And what we wanted to do is there's kind of two strands to our story that we issued during Grounds Week. There the part of the story about the disproportionate people going into it as a career, but also the number of people that we really need to get into that volunteering space. Now, of course, anyone and everyone can volunteer at every age. So it was really about having that multi approach and getting people, who might be the mums and dads now that grassroots sport has kind of gone back to play. Actually, saying to them, you take your kids to the grounds, why not help and support in getting them ready and getting them kind of pitch perfect?
Now, it's only finished a couple of days ago. You won't have had your debrief meetings on the back of it yet, I wouldn't imagine. But how do you plan to build on it? You talked about the fact it's the very first one. How do you intend to build on the very first Grounds Week?
Yeah, you're right. We haven't had our full debriefs yet, but we're getting there. We have got so much data that we'll kind of be digesting over the next couple of weeks, especially. For us, building on it is not just shouting louder, but as I said before, really tracking that impact. We'd like to go to more audiences this time as well. So, we focus very much so on the ground sector, but actually, going to people, local authorities, and have targeted activity in some of those spaces. So we really hope that this has just been the start of something quite special.
I think, I don't know whether it would be planned or otherwise, but the fact it was right at the beginning of spring, was that a conscious decision or just happened to be a week that was available to you all?
Yeah, we did really like this idea of change that comes with spring. I think even in the last couple of weeks, we've seen longer days, we've seen nicer weather. And for us, that just marks like a really nice moment in the grounds management calendar. Of course, we've got exciting events in November time, like Soltex. So we kind of wanted to give it a bit of breathing space with that as well. And, the springtime, I think, is just that real seed of opportunity when it comes to, lots of sports in usual circumstances, of course, taking place around this time.
Well, thank you very much. I know you must be exhausted after a busy week, but thank you very much for a little bit of your time, Miri, and good luck for the rest of the year. Good luck for the planning and organisation for the next Grounds Week, presumably
Thanks so much.
next March. And thank you very much, Miri. Good to speak to you.